All right. So thank you everyone for joining us this afternoon. My name is Abby Anderson. I'm a program coordinator senior with Work Plus here at ASU on the Tempe campus. Today I'm joined by Karlee Moxley from Career Services. Karlee, I'll go ahead and pause for a second if you'd like to do a little introduction.
Sure. Yes. Thanks, Abby. Yeah, my name is Karlee. I'm an assistant director in career services, and I'm located at the Polytechnic campus, but we serve students across all campuses and online and alumni. So super excited to be here.
Wonderful. Thank you, Karlee. As Karlee said, we are both super excited to be here with you all and moderate today's conversation. We do have a couple working learner or student employees joining us to do a small panel following the presentation that Karlee and I have provided for you all. These students have firsthand experience juggling academics, juggling employment, leadership roles on campus, and they're here today just to share their insights and different strategies for effective time management. With that being said, I'm going to pass it over to Karlee to go over our agenda for today.
Thanks, Abby. Yeah, so as Abby mentioned, we're gonna dive in with a little bit of a slide deck where we're gonna kind of level set about what we mean when we say time management or prioritizing tasks. And so that's going to provide us with some similar definitions and a whole picture of the busy life that you all live. We will run through what time management is and why it matters. Then we will provide introductions for our panelists and begin providing them with some questions to answer to give you that insight, which is why you're here. So with that being said, what is time management? Basically, time management is going to be a process of planning how to divide and organize your time for activities and events that are going on in your days, your weeks, and your overall lives. You are trying to maximize your time to work smarter, not harder, while getting everything you need to do done. So trying to organize your time for all you do is super valuable because you only have so much time each day. And on the next slide, you're going to see that obviously having a disorganized system or disruption to your schedule can really impact your ability to effectively manage that time. Of course, right? That makes sense because disruptions and disorganization can cause you to have to rework, redo, and it could even cause you to miss deadlines. And that may have happened to you all before where you just didn't write it down, you didn't have enough time, you ran out of time. And then that ends up eating up more time. But the good news is that we can always and continuously improve our own time management skills. And that's where this session is going to be valuable because we'll be able to touch on some of those tips and tricks that hopefully you all can implement into your time management processes to not miss any of those deadlines and be able to find what works best for you.
So, looking at what your day-to-day lives might entail, I just want to start first and foremost by saying we acknowledge that you all have a lot to prioritize. And this is honestly just one of the most critical resources that we have, that time, right? Managing your time effectively can reduce stress and it can improve your productivity, kind of like Karlee was saying. If you are not keeping track of your time, you might miss deadlines. It might cause you to have to redo a task or project that you've already completed. So again, just if you're able to set those priorities ahead of time and understand where your time is needed, whether it's across different needs here, and we're going to get into that in just a moment. Again, just making sure that we are keeping track of what we're working on, when we need to have it done by, what does that flow look like, and again, just ensuring the efficiency for ourselves and making sure that we're producing quality work. Again, whether it's actually at work, if it's in the classroom, whatever that might look like. So before I move forward, would love to hear from you all, whether it's coming off mute, go ahead and utilizing the chat. What would you say are different priorities that you might have that is pulling at you for your time? And there's no right or wrong answer here, I promise. work. Carlee's given us a little hint. Work might be pulling at us for our time. School, going to classes, having a social life, somebody said in a direct message to me. Oh, somebody also said playing club sports here at ASU. Absolutely, it is going to be taking some time away from you. All right, so keep thinking about some of those as we are going into this next slide. But of course, some of the more obvious ones, and we did mention it, academic responsibilities is a huge one, especially for you all. You are here as a student at ASU. School should be one of your number one priorities because you are paying good money to be here. You're spending valuable time to be here. So again, with that, making sure you're attending those classes because like I just said, you are paying money to be here. So, or maybe you received scholarships or grants to help you with attending those classes. But again, you should be making sure you're taking the time to show up and be present in class. Completing your assignments, of course, working on the different assignments, whether it's writing a paper, maybe you have to attend an event, but making sure we are balancing and structuring the time for those. I'm just going to go ahead and click through a little bit more. As you can see, maybe it's conducting research. You have to utilize office hours for your professor or maybe meet with your advisor. I'm going to do a shameless plug for career services, meeting with a career coach. Again, could all be part of your academic responsibilities. We also identify campus responsibilities. So whether you are part of a club or organization, if you're part of Changemakers, making sure you're devoting time to go to a monthly meeting, participate in an event that they might be hosting. Um, Different leadership positions, again, that could be through clubs and organizations, that could be through volunteer work on campus, that could be through your job if you work on campus. Of course, being a peer to a peer mentor or tutor to some of your classmates that you might be working with, attending different events like today. You made the time to show up and come to this workshop as a campus responsibility and trying to understand different time management skills. As I mentioned, volunteering, of course, community service falls within that. Um, Financial responsibilities is another aspect of where you might need to manage your time in the sense of if you work on campus in a part-time role, maybe you work off campus in a more full-time hour commitment. I know when I was a student during my undergrad at ASU, I worked a part-time job on campus and a part-time job off campus. So I was having to juggle two different work schedules in addition to my class schedule. So again, understanding that you are being pulled in so many different directions. How are you managing that time? How are you ensuring that you're getting your tasks, your homework assignments done in a timely manner, but also effectively and making sure you're producing that quality work, like I said earlier. Of course, too, with the financial responsibilities falling in the sense of paying for school, maybe you have to pay for your textbooks, if you have to pay for rent, different things there. I'm a huge component on making sure you're focusing time on your personal well-being. So managing different stress and academic pressures there, making sure you have someone that you trust that you can connect with and talk with and know that you are not alone. So with that being said, accessing different counsel services, ASU does offer those services. So if that's something that you might need assistance with, please feel free to connect with myself or Karlee offline. We'd be happy to help point you in those directions, but also engaging in self-care activities. And I know we might get into some of that during our panel topics later in this session today. Additionally, there might be even some more responsibilities that are pulling you for your different time constraints that you have because we only have 24 hours in a day. So how are we making sure that we're getting everything complete? Because like I just said, academic, financial, well-being, social life, and community building. You all are young adults. You want to have that social life. I know when I was in undergrad, it was always one of those things where I was like, you hear all the time, like this is the time that matters. This is when you're supposed to be having fun. This is when you're supposed to be developing professionally though. So don't have too much fun. How are we balancing and making sure that we are having fun and enjoying our time during college, but still taking the responsibility to attend class and put our academics as a top priority. So as you can see here too, making those new friends, participating in Sun Devil traditions like homecoming or the lantern walk, engaging in cultural and identity-based activities. So whether that was like Mason mentioned, playing club baseball here at ASU or getting more involved at the Multicultural Center here at the Tempe campus. Could also look like family and personal obligations. We totally understand and want to acknowledge that some folks here at ASU might have a family that they are responsible for in addition to their academics, in addition to going to work and receiving a paycheck, that they might have to support those family members, whether it's kids, siblings, grandparents, whatever the case may be. We recognize that that's pulling you in another direction. As I mentioned, that health and wellness, making sure that you're prioritizing your mental health in addition to your physical health, can also help with your time management skills. And last one too, housing and transportation, also understanding, like I said, maybe you have to pay rent, maybe you live off campus and you're having to travel. I know for a hot second, I was living in Glendale and I work on the Tempe campus. That was definitely something I was having to manage my time and understanding that I need to leave my house at this time so I'm not getting stuck in the traffic, so that I'm making sure that I'm showing up to work on time and I'm able to be here to support my team. So it could be the same in the sense for you. Do you have to travel to a different campus for your classes? Navigating public transportation. Maybe you're not driving, so you have to rely on the shuttles or the metro to get you there, making sure that you're allowing yourself enough time that, you know, if something were to happen, if the shuttle's 15 minutes late, it's not going to make you late for your class and stuff like that. All right, so that was a lot of different ways that you could be pulled into your time management here. Was there any that I didn't mention that you all feel should have been mentioned, or maybe that I just overlooked, or you can highlight that you might be looking at? Were there any that you were like, oh, I didn't even think of that. Maybe I need to prioritize that more? No. Are we ready to hear from Cecilia and Irota today? All right, I'm gonna pass it over to Karlee so I can go ahead and get our panelists ready to go through those questions that we have prepared. And then like Karlee said, we will definitely have time if anybody has your own questions that you're interested to hear from some of your peers, we'll have time for that as well.
Yes, exactly. So now that we have some of those similar definitions, we've considered all of these potential different priorities that we are all trying to fit into our day-to-day. It's natural to think about the next questions of, okay, why does it matter and how can I strengthen these skills? Because I have so many things going on, but I'm just getting it done. Like I'm figuring it out. I'm a student, like sleep doesn't have to be a priority. Hopefully you're not thinking that, because that shouldn't be true, but that happens so often, right? We think, okay, I'm just gonna sacrifice in this other way. And we want to help you realize that you don't have to do that. You can find these different ways to manage your time, and they may be strategies you've never even heard about or thought about. And so really being able to use your energy in the right way and strengthen those skills. So in order to explore those questions of why does time management matter and how can I strengthen these skills, like Abby mentioned, we have some folks here today that are going to share with you their perspectives. The students that are joining us have competing priorities across academics, employment, leadership, and personal life, just like all of you. And they're here to share their story and provide some of those helpful strategies that you'll then be able to implement yourself or tweak to make it make most sense for you. So we will, as Abby mentioned, be providing them with some questions, but as we go through, please drop some questions in the chat, because we want to make sure that you all have a chance to learn what you want to learn from today and from our valuable guests. So throughout the whole rest of the session, feel free to drop any questions in the chat, and Abby and I will snag them and ask those in just a little bit. So, hi panelists. let's take a quick moment to allow you each to introduce yourselves. So each of you briefly share your name, your major, year in school, and what current job or jobs or leadership role or roles you may hold here at ASU. I'll have Ceci go first.
Thank you, Karlee. Hi, everybody. My name is Cecilia Aparicio, and I am a first-generation student here at ASU. I'm studying finance and real estate, and I am a senior, so I will be hopefully graduating this upcoming May. And I work for University College Work Plus. I am a content and brand designer lead for Work Plus.
Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Aurora. I'm a junior here at ASU. Hopefully, will graduate by spring 26. I major in international relations with a double major in nonprofit leadership and management, and I also have a minor in real estate. I do work here on campus as a student success coach at the Student Success Center. And at the same time, I do work as a devil's advocate. So I'm one of the white shirts who's giving the tours around campus. I also hold some leadership positions. I'm an ambassador for the College of Liberal Arts and Sciences. I do represent the college for upcoming students and their families, and also I'm an ambassador for the School of Politics and Global Studies. So I am pretty busy, so definitely can talk about time management here.
Wonderful. Thank you both so much. Irota, I'm so excited. I can't wait to hear more about all of your experiences and how you are managing, because that was a lot that you just listed. And Ceci, I know you also are involved in a lot and have been, even in previous years that maybe you aren't necessarily holding those types of positions now. And so I wrote also thinking of that, if there's any previous experience, just how you've managed your time across those different demands. So the first question that we have for you, and whichever one of you wants to go first, feel free just to come off mute. And I also just want to preface too, if Ceci, if Irota says something and it's pretty much what you're already doing, don't feel like you have to add to it unless there is anything additional that you'd like to add. But the first question that we have for you guys, what are your go-to strategies for managing your time effectively while balancing work and academics?
I can go first. So I have two really good strategies that I would literally not get anything done if I didn't follow these two. So the first one is time blocking. And then I'll also talk about having to-do lists. So for time blocking, you can make it as broad as you like. There's a lot that can go into it. You can block an hour of your day for work, an hour of your day specifically for homework, or you can go into detail and say for that 1 hour of homework, what are you going to do specifically? So making sure you block those times and to keep yourself accountable as you go throughout your day. And also, so you're not forgetting to just hit all the points that you have to do for a specific day or a specific week. And then having to-do lists. I feel like we've all been there. We all do them. There's many different applications that you can use, or simply just taking a sticky note and having your to-do list laid out in front of you every day. And that instant gratification of just checking off everything on your list at the end of the day, for me, feels amazing. And it, again, keeps me accountable as I go throughout my day and I'm getting all my tasks done.
That's amazing. I love the time block. But when it comes to me, what I'm doing is that I'm using a lot of different calendars. Um, I'm not necessarily blocking my time. I'm just making sure that I'm having that on my calendar. So it depends on when I'm gonna do it, but I have to complete it during the day and mark that as complete. So what I'm doing technically is every evening before going to bed, I'm looking to my schedule, looking what is going to happen next, trying to plan and do my short to-do list and then put everything on my calendar. And what I'm doing as well with the calendar is that on the calendar on like every single phone, to be honest, there is a notification pop-up allowance allowance for the calendar. So I'm turning that on. So, and I'm putting like some times on where that notification should pop up. It's like a small alarm, so I can be aware of that is coming up next. So I have to prepare myself to do that next kind of thing.
Those are awesome strategies. This next question we have for you, you may have touched on it a little bit, but feel free to go deeper. What tools or apps do you use to stay organized and manage your schedule? Irota, I know, mentioned the cool feature with the calendar and being able to set those notifications. So what else do we got?
Okay, so I would touch the base a little bit with academics. So specifically when you log into Canvas, since every one of us uses, so when you log into Canvas from your phone, that's the most important. You have to download Canvas on your phone. And there's going to be on a settings where you can sync your calendar of Canvas with the assignments due date to your own calendar on the phone, which is so much helpful. Like I'm keeping track of all of my due date assignments, and I don't actually have to log into Canvas to check on everything. It's just showing up much easier and faster on my calendar. Um, and also what I'm using is specifically there's one alarm app. I don't remember the name, I'm sorry. But you can Google that. So technically the alarm is it's talkative, it's talking to you specifically by saying, hey, here's your upcoming I don't know, task is coming and you have to do this because you want to achieve this. So it's also keeping motivated me. So if anybody wants the name of the app, just put in the chat. I will try to find it right now. But overall, yeah, this is my two apps trips that I can suggest.
Yeah, I would like to echo that having a good calendar on your phone is amazing. I personally use Google Calendar because us as ASU students, we do get free access to our Google Calendars. And you're able to also sync in those assignments from Canvas, but you're also able to add in like your personal to-dos, and you can add little tasks on the side and categorize everything. Me personally, if it looks pretty, I will get it done. So I decorated mine. Mine's all of my favorite colors, and I'm able to see what category each task falls under. And again, it's free. I know there's so many apps out there. There's like Notion, but all those like you have to pay for. So we have access to that right now. Might as well take advantage of it. So yeah, I would say Google Calendar.
I wish I would have had you guys when I was in my undergrad, because I wrote if I would have known I could download the Canvas app on my phone and have it all just merged into my calendar, because like Ceci just said, I was definitely the type, like if it's on my phone and I'm getting that notification, I'm going to be more likely to pay attention to it and take it serious. But also similar to what Ceci said, if it's pretty, I'm gonna take it more serious too. Like I color code everything. I don't know about you guys, but I color code everything that I have, whether it's for my work life, my personal life, whatever the case may be, it's all color coded. Okay, so this next question is one that I love because I'm one that might overthink things. I might start to get overwhelmed when maybe it's not necessary. I wrote a Ceci, how have you guys overcome feeling overwhelmed, or have you ever felt overwhelmed by your commitments that you have? And if so, how did you regain the control over those?
Okay, I can start. Definitely I did feel overwhelmed, so much burned out as well. For example, for like last 2 semesters, I've been taking like 25 credits per semester, and definitely I am feeling sometimes like overburdened a little bit, but the way how I'm managing it, it's first thing, it's I have my self-motivation. I really want to achieve my goal, and that's kind of keeping me on track, keeping me motivated on doing stuff. But if even that's not working, I'm just closing my laptop, taking my rest. I love doing crochet, so I'm doing some crochet. I'm eating chocolate. I'm drinking my favorite drinks. I'm watching my favorite movies, and I'm just spending my whole day like that. And that's kind of like resetting my brain as well and making me to love the world again kind of thing. So definitely taking my time off resting is helping. But if you don't have like one day off specifically, what I would suggest is when it comes to managing your schedule, if you're working and studying at the same time, strongly suggest to put your work and studies during weekdays. So you're completing all of your assignments during weekdays till like Friday, working till Friday. And then Saturdays and Sundays, like for example, me, I'm not touching my laptop at all. So like that's kind of another reset for me to prepare for another upcoming like hectic week. So that's how I'm dealing with my overburnness.
I love that you are setting those like healthy boundaries for yourself in the sense like Saturday and Sunday, that's all about me. I'm not gonna stress the other commitments that I may have because I'll focus on those during the week. I love hearing that you have those healthy boundaries. Cecilia, what about you? Anything you would add to that?
Yeah, of course. So I feel like we're all college students. We're all there. We stretch ourselves way too thin because we sign ourselves up to everything we see. But that's what we're here to do. So it's okay. We all go through it. But I feel like for me, I have to really take a step back and look at my priorities. And I always have it set in the back of my mind that I am here to be a student. But before that, for me, is my health. So being able to prioritize my health, my well-being, and then I'm a student, and then I focus on my work, and then it's extracurriculars, whether that's my club for me, the Hispanic Business Student Association, or my sorority. So just having that in the back of my mind that I will get those done as I prioritize them, and being honest too, not just with yourself, but with everybody around you. For example, if you're stretched way too thin at work, being honest with your supervisor, be honest with your group in class, like just have that communication, that open communication, and really give yourself that time to breathe and be honest.
I love that. I love that open honesty. That kind of doubles down on those boundaries that Arota spoke about. You both sprinkled this a little bit when connecting overwhelm with self-care and kind of countering that. Can you tell us a little bit more about how you ensure you continue to take care of yourselves while you're meeting your academic and work responsibilities, and maybe even how you fit that in, right? And what that looks like for you as you're time blocking and as you're utilizing your different calendars. Do you schedule your own personal needs in that as well?
I feel like for me, self-care is very much a non-negotiable. So being able to fit it into my routine is very, very crucial. And there's of course going to be those days that you just can't. So like Iota had said, just having that weekend for yourself to just breathe and take care of you so that you can have that next week to focus. Me personally, I love going to coffee shops. That's killing two birds in one stone. I'm able to relax at a coffee shop, have a nice coffee or matcha while I'm studying or while I'm working. So I'm still able to be productive, but I'm also taking care of myself at the same time.
Well, I would probably say that's kind of the same for me as well. Like Cecilia mentioned about taking like small trips, I would say somewhere small, and then at the same time try to work on your assignments or any works that left from the weekdays. But majority of the times, what I'm also like really trying to this like a strict rule for me. I'm trying to get done with everything on Fridays and like it's non-negotiable for me. Like I love studying, I love my work, but there's a limit for everything and I need the time for myself to actually relax and stop thinking about some serious problems that is happening around me. Um And for that, actually, I am using two different extensions. For example, for Canvas. The first one is Better Canvas, and the second one is Task for Canvas. So once you upload these extensions on your Canvas, it's going to give you a visibility of all the assignments that you have to complete throughout the whole month. So you can start planning your day by day, even like monthly assignments, due dates, and prepare yourself for like the weekend. So that's been helping me really, really a lot because I can actually see what is my task and where is the due date, so I can plan accordingly. And for example, once like it's a Better Canvas extension again, once you complete the assignment, it's giving you like a small confetti that yay, you have submitted your assignment, good job, well done. And that's kind of also like making me happy that I'm halfway done and it's like almost Friday, so I can take my rest. But yeah.
I love that you mentioned that, Irona, because that's something like for me, I need to make things into a game. So if I had something that was giving me that confetti, that like celebrating that, hey, you just did that task. Or I know, Ceci, I think you mentioned earlier too, like if I'm making lists, like to be able to cross that off my list or to be able to check it off, or if I'm using a dry erase board, erase that off my list, like just making it more of that game, like to be able to physically see the accomplishment of, hey, you've done that. So thank you for sharing those extensions, Iron. I think that'd be, again, fun to have on your canvas and encourage you to keep going, keep doing what you're doing. All right, we have one more question, and then if anybody in the audience has any questions, again, feel free to put those in the chat, or after this next question, if you just want to come off mute, you're welcome to. But Arota, Sethi, what's some advice that you would give to other students who might be struggling to balance their responsibilities? Again, looking at the vast responsibilities that we mentioned in the slides a little bit ago, what's just some advice you'd give to other students?
I would say just getting clear with your priorities, like I said earlier, um, making sure that all your priorities in your whole life, not just your school or your work life, are in order so that you're just happy. You have to be a happy person to get things done. And also don't try to multitask every day, all day. Uh, Knock things out as you go. Focus on one task, get it done, hop to the next one, get it done. Personally, that's what's worked for me because if I start just so many tasks, I will not get any of them done. Well, be halfway through one, start another one, and it just will not get done in the timely manner or as good as I would want the outcome to be. So just getting things done at its time, at its own time.
That's an amazing advice. I love that. When it comes to me, I would say first get to know yourself better and get to know your goal better. So that's gonna make you easier to go through all the struggles that you have, first of all. Secondly, once you know the goal, it will help you to understand what are your priorities. So if you know what you want to do in life, in your work, in your future career aspiration, it will be much, much easier to understand what are your priorities. Is it school or work? Is it assignments or like anything else, right? So get to know yourself as well. The reason why I'm telling this is because if you don't know what you're capable of, you will try to do everything at the same time, and by the end of the day, you won't be able to complete anything. So know your values, you know your performance, like what you can do, how you can do that. So try to understand yourself better. It's a little bit psychological, but I I believe you guys can do that. And you will have a clear mind, a clear plan for your future goals and the time management as well.
Okay, I know that I just said I would open it up and the audience could ask questions if they had questions, but Irota, that was like a perfect segue to a thought that I had in the sense of being sure to know yourself and know your um just how you work as a human and like what works for you, what doesn't work for you, what is your personality type, that can all play factor into how you manage your time. So with that being said, I'm curious, if either of you, have you just always naturally been focused on your time management and organizational skills, or was there something that happened during a work experience or academic experience that has prompted you to develop these skills and be more aware of your time management?
I have a story. So that reminded me, it was, yes, last year, last school year. I feel like I was just way too overwhelmed. I put way too much on my plate. I got involved with too many extracurriculars at once. And I was falling out of place when it came to school, when it came to work. And like I said, that's what I'm here to do. So I was prioritizing the wrong things, which embarrassingly enough led me to actually turn in or attempt to turn in a resignation letter for my current position right now. And I just had to have that conversation. I put it out there with my supervisor that maybe I needed some space, I needed some time. But after having that conversation, my supervisor made me feel so much better about me just taking some time to relax, and I was able to get that time because I was honest and I was upfront. I was being honest with myself and with those around me. And well, I'm still here. I'm hopefully going to be graduating from here. So it's amazing. And I feel like being organized and having good time management, it's not linear. The things we do every single day, we might have the same morning routine, but it's not linear. Things are always going to be changing. But yeah, embracing that change, but still being able to manage the right way, I feel like is amazing.
Well, when it comes to me, I would say my time management skills started developing at very young age. Well, first of all, I'm a professional tennis player and I've been playing tennis since I was 5 years old, and it's been like 15 years now. So it's always been in my mind to navigate my time and like studies at the same time, because I mean, I had to practice like 8 hours a day and then attending tournaments, and then also don't stay behind in your classes, like graduate at the right time, don't fail classes and stuff like that. So I would say I've been developing my time management since I was 5. And that actually helped me when I came here to college as a freshman, because I was like, well, with my time management, I think I can do a lot of stuff. So during my freshman years here, I joined 16 different clubs to like explore ASU and like to build that networking, because like everyone around me was telling me to build networking. I was like, okay, let's do it. So um and also it actually like helped me a lot. Like joining 16 clubs was crazy, and a lot of people got to know about me, and everyone was like impressed, and like this is how I actually started my networking, like friends, group, community. And that's how I also were able to get to the positions that I am right now in, because there was a lot of different references that people were sharing about me to other people, and they were like, hey, they want to do this with us, or they want to try this. So definitely for me, it's from young age, it's always been about my discipline as well. So if you will train that discipline, you trust me, you can achieve anything you wish in everyday life of yours. So
Oh my gosh, the more that you all speak about your life experiences and all the things that you're doing, the more impressed I am of both of you. That's so cool. And it's also neat to show how you both have developed and strengthened those skills in different ways and through different circumstances. And so that's really, really awesome. Let's give a second and see if there's any questions. And then if not, we have some more for you from our own list, but want to give space just in case. You keep an eye out on the chat.
I did get one. Ceci, I wrote it. Do either of you have any good strategies to avoid procrastination?
Love that question.
I would say this is a little specific, but for me personally, I procrastinate doing my assignments. So what I have to do is time block that into my schedule and treat it as an appointment. Like if I'm meeting with my supervisor, like I have to be there, I have to get it done. That way I will not procrastinate and I know in my head that it would be embarrassing to not get it done. So just treating it, I know it's important, but treat it as it's even more important than it is. Whatever task.
For me, what I'm doing is, first of all, I'm removing my phone from my hands and like putting my phone far away from me. Definitely that works very well. Secondly, I'm trying to stay away from my bedroom because every time I go in, I want to sleep or like, I don't know, do something like, with my toys, plushies and stuff. But just lock the bedroom, put your phone in the bedroom as well. Um, and what I'm also doing is I'm trying to organize my table so it's like aesthetically beautiful. It feels comfortable. I'm putting some like I don't know, um candles. I'm putting some chocolate on the side as my a reward for me doing the assignments. And then once everything feels comfortable, I'm getting my blanket and remembering my goal again, because that's the goal which is going to keep you motivated. If you're not being motivated, even though if you're gonna watch motivation videos, it's going to be a short-term motivation. So you have to have that fire inside yourself to keep going. And after me cleaning my table and organizing, I'm sitting and just like in peace, in quiet moments, I'm starting one by one my assignments. And with to be honest, with all the extensions that I have on my canvas, it's much easier because it's already have organized my to-do list for me, and it shows like which one I have to do first, second, and third, and that's how I'm completing my assignments step by step kind of thing.
I'm also just going to throw out there something that I know I did a lot during my undergrad and even when I was in graduate school, especially when it came to like hard like deadlines for papers and stuff that I had due. I would actually give myself an earlier deadline and I would just keep telling myself, so like if it was due, we'll say it's due March 2nd, I would tell myself that paper is due March 18th, or I'm sorry, February 18th. And I'm going to keep telling myself it's due February 18th, it's due February. So then in my head, if I don't have it done by February 18th, I don't have to panic and, rush to get it done because I'm still allowing myself that time to get it done. Then also too, because I am such a procrastinator, that's how I started to battle and beat my procrastination in that sense of giving myself kind of a fake deadline, but that was then the deadline I was living by. And I was ensuring myself that I still had at least a week, if not more, to actually meet the official deadline that I was given by my instructors. All right, I think we have time. We can do one more question. That was a great question though in the chat. So if you do have any others, please feel free to keep putting those there. But one other question that we had prepared for you, Arota and Ceci, how do you handle unexpected situations that might disrupt your schedule?
Okay, I think well, I'm definitely not happy when something comes out outside of my schedule, but I'm trying to stay calm as much as possible as I can, and I'm trying to see the importance of that unexpected task. If I do have a deadline, then I will obviously think about how to complete it in the next few days. But if I have to do it immediately, then I will do it immediately, probably for me. Because if I will do it like right away, then the rest of my day can be like as planned. So I'm trying to either do it right away or see if I can do it later on. So I'm still keeping on track of whatever I was doing. And also it depends on what I was doing. For example, if I was like in between of my break, then I would rather sacrifice my break and get done. So it's not on my mind, it's not on my schedule anymore.
Yeah, I feel like unexpected events are inevitable. They come whenever they come, but just being able to build in that almost like buffer time in my schedule has really helped me. That way I'm still keeping on track with my schedule, but I'm able to get these other tasks that are coming day by day done, and not getting frustrated. Things happen. It's okay if you have to push one of your not so priorities to the next day or the next week. So just taking that time to really acknowledge that it's normal, it's natural. So just build in that time to kind of expect things like that.
Wonderful. Those were both great insights. Thank you so much. All right, we're going to do last call. Any other questions that anybody might have while I wait for the awkward Zoom silence or time for a question to be thrown in the chat? Ceci or Irota, is there anything else that you would like to share or cover that maybe we didn't have a chance to highlight through the questions that Karlee and I had prepared? No pressure if there isn't, but again, just really wanting to reiterate the fact that, as Sethi and Irota both mentioned, having that clear communication, whether it's with yourself or with those around you, if you're in a group project, with your professors, with your supervisors, just being able to have that clear communication and setting those healthy boundaries for yourself and those that you're working with is very important as you're managing these different demands that are asking of your time throughout the day and throughout the week. That you're going to school, that you're working, that you're being involved in clubs and sports, different things like that. So with that being said, I don't see anything else in the chat. Ceci and Irota, I just want to say thank you both again for spending time with us this afternoon and sharing your different strategies and insights that have worked well for you. Irota, I definitely will be connecting with you more just to hear more about some of those different extensions or apps that you use, because I'd love to have those and be able to share with other students at ASU, just so that they're aware that these resources exist. And again, these resources, resources like career services with Karlee or the Work Plus initiative here with your student employment, we are here to help you and support you and make sure that you do have the means necessary to succeed both in academics and professionally here at ASU and beyond. So again, Ceci and Irota, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having us. Bye.
Thank you.
And with that being said, that is going to bring us to the end of our session today. Karlee, I just want to say thank you again for being with us today and sharing some of those insights that you have around time management. And I also just want to take a few seconds to kind of plug our next workshop that we're going to have for the month of March. We'll have more details shared out through the student employment newsletters and on our student employment Slack channel. But we will be having a networking event. So I know Irota and Ceci both mentioned networking. We will actually be having a networking event in March. It'll be after spring break, but come learn more about what professional networking looks like, why it's important, what you might need to have prepared for a networking event. And then we'll also have time, it'll be an in-person event. So we'll actually have time to network and get to know some of your peers here at ASU and some of the professional staff, maybe even some faculty here at ASU, and just practice your networking skills. With that being said, thank you all. I hope you have a wonderful day and we'll talk soon.